I'm Linda, Pinky Mall's Cakes, Cookies, and Candies, also known as Pinky Mall's Sisters in the Kitchen. And I'm back for the second part of the deep dish peach pie video. I think I got that right. So I'll give it just a second here to see if anyone notices that I'm on Get Your Notification. So I've got the oven heating, and I'm going to do this part first, and then I'll take the pie out of the pan over there. So I wanted to show y'all, I told y'all this would get thicker. You see how thick that got by setting and it's colder? So I've got my pan here where I took the pie weights out, and you can see where it stood up, and that's the way it's supposed to do if you have enough pie weights to put on there. And someone asked me, I believe it was Marla, asked me how many pounds of pie weights did I use, and I've got 2 bags, and I weighed this bag, and it was 3.39 pounds. Now that sounds, and that's what I put on top of the parchment paper to have enough pie weights to come to the top of this small pan. Now if you're doing a big one, you're going to need more pie weights than that. And again, this is several containers of pie weights. They come in little small containers, and they're heavy. So, you know, 3.39 pounds, that sounds like a lot, but they're ceramic balls and they're heavy, and I never did find the one on the floor, so I guess Mike will find that when he sweeps. So I couldn't find it. I didn't want to get down on my hands and knees looking for it, so I just left it. So the first thing I'm going to do with this, and this was another question on the video, how do you prevent a soggy bottom, and do we always pre-bake our pie crust? We don't always and I guess I should speak for myself because I'm not sure about Mary, but I don't always pre-bake them. But if it's something like this, I do. And another way to prevent a soggy bottom is I've got an egg here that I beat, and I beat them with an electric mixer because I just want to make sure it's beat up real good. And I've already used some of it because you know, I had to have some for the apple one. And let me move this over here because I don't want to drop this raw egg in there. I'm just going to brush the bottom of just lightly brush it. And I'm also going to brush the sides because I don't want them to get soggy either. And it doesn't have to be a heavy brush, just a heavy coating, just a light coating. And that just kind of helps with it. Set this aside over there. So if you can just kind of see there, it's just a light coating. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this back on my baking sheet here. And I'm going to dip this. I was going to get a ladle, but I think I'll just use a dipper. I'll just do it like this. And you want to make sure that you get enough filling in here to fill this full. And this is a great consistency that I got it. And if y'all will notice, I did use all the cornstarch that I had mixed up. And I think somebody else too asked about the recipe and if it was on our website for the members. And in the first question that I answered, I said yes, it is. But this originally, and it's not, but it will be before the day's over. This was supposed to have been for next Monday, so it wasn't on the membership page yet. I don't think Linda has put it on there today. It'll probably be this evening when she gets it on there. But because Mary went to Wichita Falls over the weekend, it was her turn to cook today, and we just swapped Monday, so she'll be cooking next Monday. And that's why the date was mixed up with it. So sorry about that little hiccup there, but we'll have it straightened out before the day's over. So you can see here that I've got this full, and this is a heavy pie. It's got lots and lots of filling in it. So this would be several servings, and I've got enough left in here for one more pie, and I'll do that after a while. I'm not going to do it on video. I'll set that over there. So the next thing I'm going to do, and I'm going to put the crust on top, the lattice that we did. Hopefully y'all can see this. Oh, I am going to sprinkle just a little bit more of the cinnamon and sugar mixture on top. I did this on the other one with the apple. Just a light sprinkling. It's not a whole lot. It's not going to make a lot of difference in it. But to do this, this is pretty much cooked here. You just want to be real careful and pick it up. And then we're going to slide it on here. And because I trimmed this, it's fit down in here pretty good. So you see, I had to make sure that it was smaller than the pan so it would fit in there. And I'm going to pop this in the oven, and we're going to cook this for, the pie itself is done. The bottom crust needs to finish cooking, so I'm going to set the timer on about 10-11 minutes and see if I can finish cooking it then. Okay, now we're going to get the apple pie over here. Let me move this out of the way. And I am going to stick these eggs in the refrigerator because I have another one to do, and I don't want to have to crack another egg, and I don't want to leave these sitting out for while I'm doing this. I have a deal about eggs sitting out and somebody getting food poisoning on them. If you've ever had food poisoning with eggs, you don't want to have it again. And I have, so I'm very, very particular about that. Okay, so now we've got the apple here. I got my cake lifters. And I've got my little plate to put it on. So I'm going to just undo this first. So you see you got, I don't want to slide it off, but I want y'all to be able to see it. See, you've got a nice deep dish pie. Now, you want to be real careful when you're doing this. I'm going to start with the corner, and I'm just going to real gently push that under, and I'm going to go around the edge. And just keep going around the edge until I get completely around the pie. Whoops. I think I'm leaving some on the bottom. Now I told y'all I'm doing this live, so I did leave some on the bottom. But it's still going to be okay. The trick to it is to be very careful when you start your cake turner under there. Be very careful and just go around real easy. Try to get it as much under the bottom as you can. And now you've got your deep dish apple pie. Now it's not totally cold, and I made this morning. It's still just a little bit warm, but it's not bad warm. And that's why you have to let this set for several hours or it will tear up. But there you have it. And when the other one gets done, I'll make sure that it's completely cold, and then I will take it out too. Now somebody asked about the recipe for the apple, and I realized that I didn't tell y'all what it was. So I had a bunch of little apples. Mike had bought a sack of little snack apples like they used to give you on the airplane. And there was, I don't know, probably 7 or 8 of them. Time you take the core out and peel them, there's not a whole lot to each apple. So I used all of them, and I think it was probably at least 7. And then I had one medium-sized apple, And it wasn't even the same kind of apple, but it didn't matter because it was going in a pie, and I peeled it. And then I put 3/4 a cup of sugar in it. I put a teaspoon of cinnamon, just about 1/8 a teaspoon of allspice, about 1/8 a teaspoon of nutmeg in it, a dash of salt, and probably maybe 1/3 to 1/2 a cup of water. And I let the apples cook down. And once they cooked down, then I did my cornstarch and made my thickening, so it had a, so it would come together. So, and after the cornstarch was put in it, just like I did the peach earlier, I put about a tablespoon of butter in it and about a teaspoon of vanilla extract and stirred it up real good. Then you've got to let it cool completely before you put it in your blind baked pie crust. So I don't know, let's see, did I put the apple on here? Let's see if I put the apple on here. I did not put the apple on there. So if anybody wants to make the apple, they're going to have to come back and watch this video to tell how I did it. The pie crust is done the same way. And you'll see, if you notice the folds in this, I love that because it's so rustic looking. And you can actually cut this like a pie, however big pieces you want. Keep in mind that this is a small pie, but it's deep, so it will make several servings. I would say it would make at least 6 servings, depending on your eaters, if they're hearty eaters. But if you see the folds in this, I think it's beautiful. It's not perfect. It's not meant to be because it's a rustic, deep dish pie. That would be delicious with some caramel drizzled on top of it. A scoop of vanilla ice cream with some caramel. I would probably put the caramel on top of the ice cream. It would make a beautiful dessert. And if you were doing this for, like if you had company coming over, this would be something you can make ahead of time. And then I don't like warming something like this up in the microwave because it's going to make the crust get soggy. But you could always stick it in the oven just briefly. But if you've already got it on a serving platter, you couldn't do that because you couldn't put the serving platter in the oven. But I think it's beautiful like this. And again, it's not meant to be perfect. It's a rustic pie, and the peach pie will be done the same way. Once it cools, just take your cake lifter and then just start at the edge and go around. Try to make sure you get completely under the pie crust. I didn't get quite under this one, but it still didn't tear up. So if you don't and you do like I did then, you can still lift it up and put it on here on the plate, and it's still a beautiful pie. I thank all of you for joining me. I won't come back on and show the peach one because it's the same concept, and I don't want to wear y'all out because this is my second video today. But I hope that y'all will try this. And for our members, this should be on sometimes later on this evening for the recipe. For the ones that don't know, we do have a membership. If you want to print the recipe, we give the recipe while we're making the dish. So if you don't want to have a membership where you can print the recipe, we do not post recipes. We tell you the ingredients. So if you watch it, then you will know how we do it and what the ingredients are. So thanks again for joining me. I will be back tomorrow, 10 o'clock Central Time, making something good for lunch or supper, whatever you want to have, whatever you want to call it, or whatever meal you want to have it. It won't be a dessert tomorrow. It'll be regular food. So thank you again. God bless you. Mary and I love you. Mary is home. She did tell me that she got home. So thank y'all for your prayers, people that were praying for her. And make sure that you show kindness to everyone and give them a smile, and always, always, always count your blessings. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.